2, 3, 4, 1. Hello, welcome to Fender Play Live. I'm Eugene Edwards, and we're live here in Hollywood, Fender Hollywood, and we're going to talk about blues on the acoustic guitar. Yes, it's possible, folks. It's all possible. And the blues sounds great on any kind of guitar, so you electric players, you're included as well. All these rules, all these licks, they all apply, but we'll break down some simple techniques and utilize open strings and chord shapes so they're very approachable on the acoustic guitar in case that's all you have. Plus, we're going to give away some free gear, so let's get started. Helping out you, as always, is my co-host, Dylan Caligiuri. Dr. Dylan, say hello.
Hello, 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 world. Hello, welcome.
Well, he's a magnanimous, it's like he just stepped out of a spaceship. It's
great to be here.
It's lovely. Let's talk about gear first of all. Dylan, describe what you're playing, please.
Yeah, so this is an Acoustasonic, because, the blues is a unilateral genre.
Is it?
I mean, you can play it on anything.
Oh,
right?
I got you.
But this Acoustasonic is sort of, it's an homage to all things that a guitar can do.
Okay.
So I'll show you. So I'll play a little bit of blues on this with this particular
An
voice
acoustic
here.
setting.
That's right. And then watch, just a slight tinge of the pickup selector here. I mean, we can get into a lot of different colors with this.
A lot of spectrum there.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody.
You won't. I'm playing the PM2 parlor style acoustic, and this is, notice it's kind of a smaller body, and this is a bit of an homage to the style of guitars that Robert Johnson, some of the guys who really developed and invented the acoustic blues, played on guitars about this size, and so that's what... Got that little sound. So if you have an acoustic, please grab it, tune up, and play along with us today. Now let's start with, again, if you have any questions about tonight's topic, please drop them in the comment section. We'll try to get to them as much as we can, as usual. And also, make sure you check out the lessons after the episode. There's a lot of information on the site on how to get started playing the blues. We have a lot of songs, a lot of riffs, and we're going to kind of just highlight a few. Now let's start with hearing some acoustic blues. Dylan, can you, on your own, just play some blues, and then we'll talk about how we get going on this.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Okay, sounded convincing to me. Right, everybody? Everybody in the room heard it?
It'll do.
Those? How was that?
It'll do. It'll do just fine.
You got huzzas from the Peanut Gallery. I'm proud of you, buddy.
It was very
I'm really
acoustic
proud of you.
in nature.
So we're talking about just some classic acoustic blues.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about where do we start? What are a few things that we need to understand about the blues to get going?
Yeah, so there's basic tenets of the blues, right? There's some formal elements, fundamental elements of the blues that if you get them under your belt, it's like, the light opens and you're able to basically create. And that's why so many people love playing the blues.
Sure.
So one of the biggest things is what's called the 12-bar blues form. And a lot of people have heard that, I think, whether they're even musicians or not. Right?
Yep.
So basically 12-bar blues refers to a number of bars, and bars are a way we like to, divide up time.
They're also known as measures.
That's right, measures. And so you have 12 divisions of time with 4 beats in each one.
Makes sense.
Okay, so now basically one of 3 chords is going to be assigned to each one of these bars,
Okay.
right? So we're going to walk you guys through this 12-bar blues thing right now because we're demystifying. We're
That's
taking
right.
it apart.
You're taking the myth all out of it. So, and we already have some questions coming in, so let's do this and we'll get to your questions. This is great. Thank you, Perry, for showing those. So let's count out 12 bars, and we're going to play the a 1 chord, a 4 chord, and a 5 chord. We'll be explaining that in a second.
That's coming up.
So go ahead and start, and we'll count them out. So we start with the 1 chord for
That's
how
right.
many bars?
And we're doing this in the key of A.
Key of A.
Basically, it's going to be the 1 chord for 4 bars.
Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2,
Second bar.
2, 3, 4. 3,
bar.
2, 3, 4.
Fourth
4,
bar.
2, 3, 4. Switch chords. 6th bar.
Back to the 1 chord.
7, 2, 3, 4. This is bar 8. Now here's bar 9 on the 5 chord. Bar 10 on the 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord on bar 11. And here's the 12th measure. We're done. We just played 12 bar blues.
So that probably went by kind of quick, and maybe it was a little confusing, but we're gonna break this apart. Obviously, there's a ton of resources on Play. You were saying there's nearly 100 search options when you put blues in.
If you go to the site and punch in blues in the search function, almost 100 things come up alone. So there's that much text material, if you will, if you're interested in getting, either you want to get started in the blues or you want to go back to it if you played it a long time ago. We've got a lot there. We've got questions, so we're going to get to them. Ted Parks on YouTube is asking, is there a blues path on Fender Play?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that, because of course there is. Not only is there the path, there's also the collection, which we're going to talk about today. So if you just wanted to just jump straight to a lot of the topics that we're talking about right now, you could really kind of move forward. We're breaking the entire collection down at this point. So there's the good.
We're going to try. And also, it stands to reason that I should mention that both acoustic and electric guitars are represented on the blues path. So you'll notice the instructors will have both a lot. And like I said, a lot of the stuff that we're teaching here, a lot of these licks and riffs, all the form stuff, it exists on whether you're plugged in or not. But we are going to talk about things that if you have an acoustic guitar, we want to make sure that you walk away from today's episode feeling confident in the blues. Scott Folgeman on YouTube is asking, hi Scott, good to see you from again. What type of wood sounds best for an acoustic playing blues? Well, this is a matter of taste, I assume.
Scott, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, this is... Well, I would think that most acoustics have mahogany in the backs, usually.
Back and sides.
Spruce wood on top. So that's one way to go. But
well, one side note to that would be some of the best acoustic blues players that have ever lived played on guitars that would be of probably very low quality.
We're not sure it was even, they were made of wood.
Right,
I mean,
we're not even sure if it was entirely wood.
Could have been some press board.
Yeah.
So don't get too sidetracked. But if you want to get into the nuances of wood tones and all that sort of stuff, I say go to a guitar shop and just start trying out everything until you find the one that really speaks to you.
Yeah.
And then find out later on what wood that is. Also, Michael Baines on Facebook is asking, is a size of guitar best for blues? Again, up to taste. Robert Johnson, king of the Delta Blues, he played something that was more akin to this size and shape, which is known as a parlor guitar. It's a smaller guitar meant to just play in small little front rooms in houses, and a parlor room. And it has a certain type of EQ. Certain notes jump out. But then again, other guys like Skip James played it on like jumbo size acoustics, and they certainly had a big booming sound. So mix it up. No, there's not one that's best for. It kind of depends on what you want out of it. And always look up your favorite player and find out what they were playing. There's usually photographs of them or footage of them, and then
I just try not to spill anything on it.
Yeah, Dylan.
That's the main thing. So
he's got his Earl Grey.
No pledge, nothing like that.
All over the
yeah,
place.
you want to try to use.
Okay, let's talk about some harmony.
Okay,
here. You're going to talk about the number system. We always say like the 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord.
I know,
Can you
right?
just explain really quickly what is that?
Okay, so again, there's tons of resources on this. So if this is flying by, don't be dismayed. But there's 7 letters in the musical alphabet, right? So
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm out.
He's a genius. He's a genius. He really is. He's very smart. So there's 7 letters in the musical alphabet. So what it is whenever you're doing some counting, if you get to the G, you have to start over at A. And that's where a lot of people get tripped up. And to be fair, I get tripped up on spelling my own name, all types of things. So that's the thing to remember whenever you're doing some counting in the musical alphabet. So when we're looking at 1, 4, and 5 chord, in the key of A, for instance, that means A is our 1. So if you're on path, you might have learned this 2-finger A right here. Excuse me, 1-finger A. Then if we count up to find our 4 chord, A, B, C, D. So our 4 chord is going to be D. Now that seems elementary, but honestly, you wouldn't just know that right away. So it does kind of have to be explained. Now, the 5 chord, of course, is going to be E.
Right. You just go up the alphabet.
So
you go up the alphabet.
the great thing about this is that formula transposes or moves regardless of what key you're in.
So if we're in the key of D,
Right.
and that's our 1 chord,
Right.
we go D, E, F, G, and that's our 4 chord.
Exactly.
But then for the 5 chord, we go up 1 and we have to start back to A. That's
Absolutely.
our 5 chord in D, and now we're back to our 1 chord of D. So you see how the algebra moves. Okay, so that's 1, 4, 5. So we're going to call that out today.
Yeah.
And that's what we're referring to. And as you notice in the 12-bar blues, we're usually starting on the 1 chord. We go to the 4. We're going to play pretty much just those 3 chords in any key. So that's also, hopefully that encourages you. You just need to know 3 chords and the relationship to each other. And there's lessons on the site about that. The ABCs of 12-bar blues is on Fender Play. That's a great lesson path that really walks us through a lot of these things. Now, in terms of melody, melodically, what kind of scale could we use?
Well, the blues scale, of course.
Well, that's convenient.
None other than the blues scale. So if you know the minor pentatonic scale, you are almost all the way there. So the blues scale sounds like this. So
This is an A.
yeah, actually, I'm going to play the minor pentatonic scale first.
Okay.
So that's very popular in blues as well.
That's true.
Okay, it's nice. It's nice. Don't get me
Sounds
wrong.
right.
It's very nice. Now, the blues scale. And those looks, they actually do enhance your playing. You want to work on some of that.
Get some blues face going.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the concept. So it's the blues scale. So when you're hearing people play the blues and you're hearing them play something that sounds what we would call like diatonic, which we'll leave that term alone, but it sounds like it's in the key, right? So it's pleasing to the ear. You'll hear them play that flat 5. And they're kind of toying with playing outside of the key at that point in time, right? And that's a big part of the blues is pushing, the boundaries of acceptable harmony and melody.
Well, it's funny. Jason O on YouTube is asking, can you define the blues note and the associated scale? I think you've just done that. So that out of tune note that Dylan's referring to, more specifically, it's the flat 5.
Our
If you're
old
counting through all the numbers of your scale system, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get to the 5 note. And Dylan's been in the key of A there. So if here's my E is the 5 of A. You go through the alphabet, and if you flatten that note by half a step, that's that blues note that we're talking about.
These are good questions.
So you get that kind of effect. In fact, when we started at the top, there's a real classic blues thing where we were in E, and I took the B, which is the 5, and then so I went down chromatic, but that was that blues. And that's how you know you're hearing the blues, and that's why we usually start a blues with that sort of thing. Now, we just mentioned 12-bar. We're talking about the form and the length. We can also do things like 8-bar, and we have a song on the site that was originally by Elmore James, a great slide player and a tremendous singer. A song of his called "It Hurts Me Too." It's a great blues song, and you can get started on this song and not worry too much about 12-bar, 8-bar, just follow through. It's in the key of A. So we're going to run through this and just want to show you how you can just with a, D, and E, you can get started playing blues. And it goes like this. You say you're hurt and lost your mind. The man you love hurts you all the time. When things go wrong with you, it hurts me too. 3 chords that, I thank you.
I liked it. I liked it.
He sounds shocked.
Well,
what was that? Really?
I was skeptical at first. I liked it.
Fair enough. So that's a song that doesn't even follow 12 bar. It's 8 bars, so it's a little shorter, but it's easy to follow along. So make sure you go to the site and learn "It Hurts Me Too" by Elmore James. You could start at worse places. Now, you were talking about earlier about call and response as kind of an element of blues.
Yeah. So
what's that?
Again, call and response is an element of all music, really, in a sense, right? But in the blues, it's just really obvious because it's just super apparent. So I'll give you an example. So a great song, it's on the site. It's a song by John Lee Hooker. It's called "Boom Boom." Boom Boom. So boom 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 boom. So
shoot you right down. Yeah,
that's
he
it.
sings, and then the band all plays a riff.
There's call and response, and that's basically kind of like the ebb and flow of music. That is the back and forth of all music. But in blues, which really, blues is American music. It's
very much so.
It's the jazz and blues. Believe it or not, they're the same thing. They're really the same thing. They really are, though. And so call and response really is one of the keys as a listener to unlocking and hearing music in a way that has more depth to you. So when you hear music, it's not something that's just on in the background. You're really starting to engage with it.
Right.
And so if you listen for call and response as you're listening to the blues, I think what you're going to find is not only do you understand the blues more and connect with the performers, but you also are really becoming an active listener.
It's funny. And then later on, we're going to perform a Robert Johnson tune. And hopefully we can get everyone to play along. It'd be nice. But in that song, I'll sing a line, and then Dylan will play a lick right after that, and then he'll lay out and I'll sing, and you'll hear that's a call and response between my voice and Dylan's guitar. So we'll illustrate that a little more going in. Now, we've talked about form and a lot of harmony here. We should talk about rhythm.
Yeah.
So what's the fundamental thing in our strum hand when it comes to the blues?
Absolutely. And before we do that, lick, the term lick, comes from when saxophone players had to lick their reed before they played a little bit.
Okay, you know what? You want to play some trivia? The rhythm section on Boom Boom by John Lee Hooker, which was recorded in Detroit, Michigan, those guys go on to be the Motown house band. You're hearing the Funk Brothers on that. Not a lot of people know that.
We had to do it. Okay.
No one likes a one-upper.
So back to this. Yeah. So
sorry.
There is a rhythmic element that's sort of almost the clave or the key to blues, right? And it's called swing. Swing. We were swinging.
Swing.
Swing. Right?
So you swung the word when you said it.
I swung the word. So basically what it means is long, short. So I'm going to play this in a very simple way that's focused on the rhythmic aspect of swing. Okay, so this is. Okay, so now here's playing that straight, so no swing.
Okay.
Ready? It's cool. It's good. Don't get me wrong, I like it. But hold on.
It does. Look at you. You're a different. You're moving like an animal.
Yeah, I really like it.
That did sound much more American.
So and if you add some muting or what's called stopping sound on the site with your strum hand, you end up with this sound. Sorry. Which really starts to show it off, right? And there's a great lesson on the site called swing versus straight versus swing. Yeah,
Okay.
And it basically I believe Matt goes through and talks about all of this. So if you want to learn more about that, which you should.
So and when I did It Hurts Me Too, that's all I did was I just played long, short, long, short.
Right.
So just if you get that pattern out, and you can do it with power chords if that's the level for you right now, or full chords. Also, we can do if you can find. We want to talk about the cage system here a bit, because we can play just our power chords, or our regular major open chords. But if we add the dominant 7, if you're kind of intermediate and moving on, and you know how to put that flat 7 in your chords, things get really, really bluesy. Can you just demonstrate a few of that in terms of cage for some people?
Yeah. So basically, here's a C, right? Here's a C7 in the same position. Okay. If we got C, C7.
Gotcha.
Okay. C. Nobody likes this position.
Nobody plays the G shape.
That's this contortionist version of yeah. So, but it's the same thing here. Here's C bar chord version. So what it is, the 7 literally adds the tritone or what's called the flat 5. It adds that interval inside the chord.
So this moves us into licks and riffs, and I want to start with here's one. Let's say we're in the key of E. So we know our D-shaped chord, right? Like this one right here. If you know how to make a D7, which would be this, just the top 3 strings. Well, if we move that up 2 frets, we're now playing E7. So give me just a big E chord if you wouldn't mind.
Said for it to be big, I don't know.
No, that was great. There are no small parts, just big chords.
Yeah.
So if you can work that shape, that chord shape, right away you have this really authentic acoustic blues sound, and you just hit that low open E string if you're playing solo. You can do call and response with yourself, frankly. Baby, don't you leave me here. That's right, you just do call and response with your voice and your own chord shape to make a lick. Or don't play the high E string at all. This is a really common one. Back to your chord shape. So that's a double stop. What are some other blues double stops that you can think of?
Yeah, so blues double stops. So as we get a little bit more tricky on this, right? Let's say we move into A minor pentatonic. You're going to hear this all the time, like. So basically, where you're taking the minor pentatonic scale and you're playing 2 notes at once.
Okay.
Now I'm really putting the double stops in there, but that is a very blues element thing. Another one that you'll hear a lot is on acoustic, specific to acoustic. Is when people are playing fingerstyle acoustic, you'll hear what I was playing at the top.
Oh yeah, you're like a walking bass line.
So you're hearing like a lot of notes at once, right? And realistically, you guys, I'm literally just playing an open E and 2 strings open. So this is actually pretty accessible, and fingerstyle is one of the main things that acoustic blues really kind of unlocks.
If you do it, make sure that you start slow.
Because
Dylan was kind of ramped up.
I got carried away.
He's short on time.
I got carried away.
He has to get to a meeting after this. So, so he played it really close. But you could just get that at a really slow tempo until that's smooth. And then slow becomes smooth, and smooth becomes fast. Also, I want to talk about like just this open E chord. If you have this, talk about the pinky. Get him involved.
Yeah.
Get him involved, everyone. You can just let this guy play other notes of your E blues scale while you're hammer on there. And you don't really have to leave this position. And if it's on acoustic guitar, we usually like to stay here at the bottom. It's usually a little more comfortable. There's a lot of blues to be had there. Jesse Sanders on Facebook says, I never really thought about learning any blues until tonight.
We won one. We got Jesse. We got Jesse.
2 points for Gryffindor. I don't know. So now, how about power? We talked about power chord riffs a little earlier.
Right.
What can we do with a power chord? Is it blues riffs and power chords? Do we have something on the site?
So yeah. So there's on the site there's a ton on power chords, right? There's also a really great lesson within that blues collection on how to play like the boogie blues that we were doing. So you're basically extending from this power chord and adding this guy in. Then you're throwing the swang in.
Long, short.
And you're bluesing. You're bluesing before you know it.
Yeah.
But I don't want you guys to think that acoustic blues isn't dangerous.
Oh.
that it's like something that you can bring home to your parents. I mean, this is something that can get really crazy.
Okay, such as?
Okay, so for instance, if we're doing that. I mean, you can get in trouble.
Just the attitude of it.
It's the attitude. So acoustic, because of the element of it being an acoustic instrument, it's a personification of the person, right?
Right.
Electric guitars are about tone as much as they are about the person as well, right? But they speak through toys. We don't need toys.
Oh, I see what you mean.
We don't need toys on acoustic, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So get pumped up.
Right. But we have Muddy Waters' Mannish Boy on the site.
That's a great one.
And that's a great power because that's an A. That's a really accessible lick there because it's a power chord, then another power chord, and then one note, and back to your original power chord. And that song, I don't even believe they go to the 4 or the 5 chord.
They don't.
Just stay
There's
right
too much
there.
attitude.
That's right.
Nobody would be able to take it.
So learn the Mannish Boy riff by Muddy Waters, and you're so into the blues. What else do we have on this? Oh, we have questions.
Oh.
That kid on YouTube says, are you able to play blues in alternate tunings?
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, a lot of early
Yeah.
blues was done on open tunings, usually to accommodate slide guitar. So you can absolutely play in alternate tunings. In fact, a lot of early blues players would use open tunings because they didn't have a bass player or the rhythm section, so they could cover more sonic ground, if you will, with just 6 strings,
right, and
create a lot of movement there. Now we're in standard tuning, but by all means, go to an open G, for instance. And then when you do that, your 4 chord would just kind of be up here at the 5th fret. Your 5 chords at the 7th fret, and you can just kind of play any song in 1, 4, 5, and just kind of work that. I don't even call it a shape.
Can I make a provocative statement?
Here,
can I make a? Can I say
now the time and place?
Outlandish.
Seriously?
I want to say it.
Fine.
Okay. almost all Rolling Stones songs are the blues. I said it.
Okay, so yeah,
I said it, and they're using open tunings almost the entire time. Well, yeah, a lot of the time, right? So it's amazing as you start whittling songs down.
Yeah,
most of them turn into the blues.
Yeah, so a lot of songs will have substitution chords. They'll trick it out a little bit, but fundamentally, a lot of that stuff's the blues. Matt B on YouTube asks, "Can you show us a bit of what makes Chicago blues different from Delta blues?" Well, I'll tell you what. If I were to make it, here's a really simplified answer. Once things moved up to Chicago, the bars, the city was noisier. The bars were noisier, a little more rowdy. They had to plug in. They had to go electric. Dylan, like if you, on the acoustic side, you can go from acoustic to electric, and he could demonstrate going from, start at the Delta.
So this would be a...
And then go to Chicago at some point. Matt, I would say the difference really is the gear. Because at some point, they're still playing 12 bar, they're still playing 1-4-5, they're still playing the blues scale. So don't let the location trip you up.
I taste deep dish.
Okay, so the pizza's different than in the Delta than it is in Chicago, but that's probably not. 50 Stitches Steel says, "Can you give us a 1-chord, 1-string lick?"
Only one string? I can only use one string?
You're down to 1 string.
Okay.
It's like Wordle, but with strings.
Is this like Survivor for... Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to get off the island. Okay, so how about...
Dance lessons for free, everyone. so there's your lick, and all that's on the low E string, frets 5, 3, and open, and we teach that one. I believe we teach
we
that
sure
one. Some
do.
version of it, Lord knows. Kim Adams on Facebook says, "I think I need to work on the faces." Well, our faces need work.
I wasn't aware there were any faces happening.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Wait till you watch this. Wait till you watch the replay.
Okay.
All right, since we're together again this week, we thought we'd play a classic. But I want everyone to grab your guitar, if you can. Make sure you're tuned up. And if you can, play along with us. We've discussed 3 basic chords, the form, call and response. We're going to be in the key of D. That'll be our 1 chord. And, of course, I'm already out of tune. That's also very bluesy, isn't it? And we're going to do a Robert Johnson song that's on the site called Sweet Home Chicago. In fact, he never even got to go to Chicago. That's the dark irony of this song. He never even got up there. But we do have the song on the site, and we're going to do, and he played on acoustic guitar, so why can't we?
Absolutely.
And I'll play the rhythm. Dylan's going to play some lead here, but I want everyone to jump in the key of D. So let's see if I remember how to say 1, 2, 3. Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go back to that same old place, sweet home Chicago? Go ahead, Dylan.
Well, hold on now.
So there's blues. There's blues on acoustic guitar. If you have an acoustic guitar, you're sitting on the couch, no reason why you can't become a blues player.
I think so.
Yep. Anything else you want to get to before we move on to the homework?
Yeah, I think like we've talked. I think one of the things when you're listening to music, and especially if you're new to guitar, one of the things can be a lot about notes, right? And a lot about chords and notes. And they are notes and chords. They're cool.
We do
very
need them.
Important, right? Mm-hmm. They're how you make the friends. But how you keep the friends, is the rhythm.
Oh, okay.
I swear, I promise. And it's actually how the audience connects with the music.
Sure.
So if you have good time, if you've been working with a metronome, or if you're using the backing tracks on the site, for instance, if you're working in practice mode, feedback, beta mode, whatever, you're going to develop great rhythm. And that's really where you're going to start to connect to the music. So that swing aspect of what we talked about today, lean into that. Lean into it. Lean into the swing.
As James Brown, I assume as James Brown said, get the booty to move and the spirit will follow.
That's it. That's it.
No, okay, so let's go on to homework. But before we assign the homework, you want to talk about a little extra help that we have if you're doing the homework that we assign.
Yeah, so in addition to what we're doing on the show, right? If you're a member of the Facebook group for Fender Play, and if you're on Fender Play, you should be. I'm on there constant. I'm probably on there right now. But you should definitely be a member. We have something called Office Hours, so you can start asking questions. I believe there's 3 or 4 of them every week. We've got new instructors that are on there, old instructors that are on there. You get to know the people that you're learning from on Fender Play. They're very personable. Some of them bite, but it's not that hard. It doesn't hurt that bad. And you can ask questions about the things that we've learned on the show. You can do the homework. You can really start to get some
little personal guidance as you're if there's like this for some reason this isn't quite sounding right, you might be a fret off and someone will give you that correction.
Yeah.
So assign some homework here to get people back to the site and started as blues masters.
Great. So if you're still here, fantastic, you made it, and I'm glad you're here. If you're a beginner, I think you should try the swing thing. You can do it with anything, right? So, what was the song that we were playing earlier today? Let's see.
Few. It Hurts Me Too.
Sweet
Home Chicago.
Let's see.
Round and Round.
So Round and Round, but. So you
have a long short thing going.
I hope Rat's not watching right now, by the way. But anyways, you can long short anything.
Okay.
You can long short anything. So when it comes to swinging, if you're at the point where you're just learning how to play one chord, this is pretty fun.
It's pretty groovy.
Okay. So work on swing.
Okay.
If you're a beginner. If you're intermediate, learn Hurts Me Too, and specifically focus on that turnaround lick.
Right. There is a turnaround lick. And what that refers to is at the end of the form, and we get to that final bar, it goes back to the 5 chord, and that, it hurts me too. You play that 5 chord, and it turns it back around so we know that we're going back to the top of the form. So make sure you work around that turnaround lick. That's really important in the blues.
Yeah, turnaround's one of those big terms that gets thrown around all the time in the blues. And then finally, so you're advanced. Okay. All right.
Are they done?
No. The smokestack lightning lick.
Howlin Wolf.
I think you should go for that. I think you should go for it.
And another chord, another song just stays on the 1 chord.
Yep.
It just stays there. It's so cool. It's so mean and lean. It just doesn't need other chords. I love that.
I want to add one thing to that. So if you're there, if you can get that down, try adding a quarter note bass line in.
Yeah, it's a one-man band.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but you're advanced. I think you can handle it. Okay, so now it's time to get to the Fender Play segment. Dylan, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, okay. All right. So listen, you guys, one of the greatest things about this show, every week we give away gear to a lucky Fender Play subscriber simply for using Fender Play for a minimum of 21 minutes. That's 3 7-minute sessions. They're called streaks. Get your streaks on. So if you're that lucky Fender Play user, and again, you only have to use the platform to do it, you get to pick from guitars, amplifiers, basses, all kinds of stuff, right? And it gets delivered right to your door, and we'll send you an email to let you know you want it. It's a fantastic experience. Do you guys want to know who won this week?
Boy, do we get like a big bluesy E7 chord here.
A bluesy E7 chord.
Sam M! Hey! Way to go, Sam M! Now, Sam, make sure you check your email for confirmation from us, and then you choose your bass, your amp, your guitar, your ukulele, whatever it is you choose. It's the world's your oyster.
That's right.
What else do you have for us, buddy?
New stuff on the site. There's constantly new stuff on the site, right? So we got the What's New tab. We've got new collections. There's new skills on the site. There's There's people shooting stuff all the time for Fender.
That's right.
It's nonstop.
In fact, we commandeered the room just to do this, and they got to clear us out.
They're waiting outside right now. So anyway, there's new stuff on the site, but there's a couple new songs in particular.
Such as?
Okay, so see if you guys recognize this one. Here we go. It's going to take me back to junior high.
626, y'all. I'm feeling some Long Beach. LBC. So Santeria by Sublime.
That's it. It's Santeria by Sublime. He got it.
And a great one to work on that skank rhythm there.
That's right.
Oh,
Skank
cool.
rhythm. You get to say skank. Yeah. And so another great one that's on the site that's new, and Eugene teaches this.
I do. I sat right around here on the torturous couch and taught this one.
Keep going. Song, she said.
Yeah, sure.
Why? I can't remember. I don't remember the lyrics to the song, but you get the idea. It's Alive by Pearl Jam. It's Alive by... What? Was I not supposed to do it?
No, you were as
well, you guys got to tell me.
You were as illegible as Eddie is on the record. That was great.
Okay, and then this is one, I have about 5 morning songs that I use to... Okay, laugh it up. Let's have fun.
Angel of the Morning.
Angel of the Morning, right. There's Let's Hear It for the Boy, Footloose, and then this song right here. So... I'm so excited.
Let's sing it out. You got yourself into this.
I know. And then, so that's the, what?
Nothing. You just, yeah.
That's when you know things are getting out of control.
I guess so. Well, I guess I should thank you for those updates.
Well, they're better on the site, guys. Okay.
Yeah, there's no leg
site.
kicks on there.
Yeah.
Well, I want Dylan. Thank you for getting us started on blues on acoustic guitar.
Acoustic is fun.
Acoustic's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of genres. But blues, you can go straight back to the Delta. The origins of so many song forms, so many of the songs on the site have their roots in the blues, and get started on that path. To everybody else out there, please keep safe, keep practicing, and we'll see you back here at the same time, same bat channel. Let's go out on a big G chord together. Type that bluesy capital G in the comment section on the count of 4, and we'll see you next week. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long, short, long, short.